The basic composition here is pretty simple, and it's pretty similar to a lot of other photos I've taken. In fact, someone could look at this photo and make the case that I really need to branch out a little bit more and look at this photo and say, look, Simon, it's time to move on. You've taken enough of these photos with a single subject in the middle, something to bisect the frame and a blurry background. Like, there's nothing new or original going on here. And to that, I would say, well, too bad. I like it. And this is my photo journey, my blog. I'm going to do what I want. And to be fair, no one has actually ever said that to me. But I think we all have that voice inside our head sometimes that maybe doesn't always tell us what we want to hear or even what we need to hear. And sometimes we just need to tell that voice to stop talking. Anyway, this, regardless of how derivative some might say this photo is, I think it's pretty cool. And I, again, don't know much about the flowers that I'm photographing here. Last week, I had a photo called Flowering Pear, I think is what it was called. And this, I think this is actually a Bradford pear tree. I don't know what last week's was. I called it Flowering Pear, but I don't think it was. This is some buds on a Bradford pear tree, and this is in Guthrie, Oklahoma. My brother Phil was visiting for the weekend with his family and his wife and their kids, and we all went down to Guthrie, Oklahoma to play disc golf, and Phil and I brought our cameras and macro lenses, and we're just looking for photo opportunities, and this presented itself, and it was pretty awesome. There's a small window of opportunity to take a photo like this. I mean, a matter of like days, not hours maybe, but there's only 1 or 2 days a year when you can get this particular photo, and we were there to get it. I kind of wish the lighting was a little more lively. If you compare this to last week's photo with all the bright blues and purples, there's a big contrast, but I think the subdued lighting in this, it does work. And these are beautiful flowers and they're just ready to open up. And behind them, it's still kind of gray and wintry. And it was overcast, maybe 50 degrees. And so you kind of get this sense that these flowers are defying nature a little bit. And it's kind of neat because they did, like they bloomed, and despite the crummy conditions, these flowers like persevered, and it's kind of cool to capture that in a photo like this. Shot this with, of course, my macro lens on my D750. This was at f13 to get a decent depth of field. I think I probably could have shot it at a little smaller aperture to get a little more of it in focus, but I kind of like how the one bulb at the front and center is nice and sharp. There's a couple others that are sharp, and then the rest are kind of blurry. It works. This was a ISO 360, 1/350th of a second. None of that really matters too much, just the aperture. And the result is a photo that, yes, it is similar to a lot of photos I've taken, but you know what? I like it anyway, and it will certainly not be the last one of these that I take.